Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar session, Choose Friends. This is hosted by Campus Friends Taiwan. Today, we will introduce the CampusArt Network, which provides different programs in art studies in France. We are very honored to invite the CampusArt Network Manager, Ms. Marie CHAMOREAU, to share the information on CampusArt, including which programs are provided and how to apply these programs. After Marie's presentation, we are very happy to invite an alumni, Ms. He, who is also the owner of a famous Facebook page,巴黎不打烊, to share her experience as an art student in France. So now, before we start, we would like to remind you during the presentation, if you have any questions, you could use the QA function to write down the questions. We will have a QA session after the presentation and the experience sharing. So now I will give the floor to Ms. CHAMOREAU.
Hello, thank you very much. So hello, everybody. I'm Marie CHAMOREAU. I'm in charge of the promotion, the French promotion of French art and architecture schools. I'm also in charge of the CampusArt application platform. I'm going to tell you and to tell you everything about this online application just now. Which is an application platform for foreign students all around the world who wish to enter training in art, design, music, architecture, cinema, fashion, theater. So this online application is specialized on the promotion of higher education in all topics and focus on thematics in art in the globality. I myself passed a competition and studies in a fine art school in France. I was then able to continue my studies at the university. It is therefore easy to change school in France and to continue your study. So you can pass in a fine art school and after go back to a university, and I'm going to explain you that there is this possibility to change focus and thematic school in art in France. We will have the chance to have the testimony of a former student who is now a famous designer recognized in France and in the world. She's going to speak just after me. So yes, there is a real professional integration after studying art and design in France. And yes, it is possible to make a living from your work in art and design. And Koe is going to testimony about that and just explain you what she did in France, the different schools she have made, and the studies in design in 2 schools in France. I apologize for my very average level in English and my deplorable accent. Sorry about that. So I'm going to show you this presentation in English, and you can sorry, not upload, but download this presentation on the website CampusArt. And this online application is opening on November 1st. So what is CampusArt? CampusArt is an online application. The goal of Campus France is to promote, to recruit, to welcome foreign students in France and to analyze the situation of foreign students. So the mission and the goal of this CampusArt online platform is a network of nearly there is 142 art, fashion, architecture school, but it's always growing up. With the support of the ministries of national education, higher education, research and innovation, Europe and foreign affairs, and culture. To promote in the world higher education courses in art, design, fashion. So I already talked about all the different specialties in art, because we just tell that there is a fine art school, but there is all these different specialties like fashion, cinema, theater, music. And to improve visibility, artistic and architectural higher education institutions. to ensure information and orientation students, to offer foreign students and institution an effective and reliable tool for simply the registration in France, because like you can see in France, the application online are really difficult, and fine art schools are really difficult to enter, because there is, like we told in France, an exam, a concours to enter on this public school. So this online application is easy for foreign students to applicate online and to just download the files necessary to enter in a fine art school, like a portfolio. I'm going to show you this after. What is the national coverage on CampusArt? So you can see, sorry about this slide, was not so beautiful, but this is all the schools, private, public schools and university in France on CampusArt application. So you can see the national coverage, and France is not so big. It's not a big country, so you can easily take a train and go in a school who is not in Paris, because entering a public school in Paris is really difficult. So you can see on this map that there is so much schools and university connected in the CampusArt application with national degrees, and for the private school, recognized degrees. This is a map for Paris, so and around Paris. So you've got, of course, much school, because in Paris there is all the museum, there is all the galleries, so there is a lot of fine art school and the private school in art. In the service of institution, it's important to talk about institution. Why are they going to look at your file if you are a student who want to enter in this school? Why institutions are going to go in CampusArt to see your files? It's because we've got different international visibility with a lot of documents. So on the specialties, specialized programs in art, and more than 650 programs in CampusArt. So it's really important for the school because this catalog CampusArt gives them an international visibility. I'm trying to explain some the difference in hard degrees within the LMD system. So the LMD system is in Europe. This is a license, master, doctorate system. So license is like a bachelor. This is a master degree. A doctorate is like a PhD. And you can see on this picture that we can have difference in level, but even the level is not bachelor and is not license, and it's called DNA, so Diplôme National d'Art. You can see that this is the same level because it's 3 years post-secondary school in a higher fine art school. A tool in the service of institutions. So this is how student machine training, so administrative validation before by CampusArt and Campus France team in Paris, and after institution, fine art school or university are going to access to the candidates' online files and portfolio, and final recruitment of students by the institution. There is an online assistant personalized follow-up by the CampusArt team. So online assistance for you students and for the institution in the service of students. So what is the goal of CampusArt? So it's a real tool, and the final goal is that you can come in France in a fine art, really selective fine art school. This is the goal of CampusArt because of the online application, really easy to understand, and the match with institution who are going to be able to analyze your files and give you an admission. This is the goal of CampusArt. So you can have a updated information. This is really important. I'm going to show you the website just after that. A full and updated information of higher education and a simple search with filters by domain, keyword, level by school, and different levels. So public preparatory classes, license, master, post-HEM, what we call post-master, and doctorate, PhD. A creation of a single application online and a distance admission without competition and without physical passage before a jury of equivalence. Because in France, it's mandatory to have an exam in front of a jury. But with CampusArt, it's distance admission. The application is free until a certain moment, but I insist about that. The application is free. One online application accepted by all institutions in the network, supporting documents attached. So you can see on the picture that it's quite a normal online application. There is not so much different about with what you can do on different application website. And it's totally a classical online application. A common calendar to all the school. So it's really important because in France, you've got different calendar for the exam, but here it's the same calendar for all the school, and one website to submit a personal portfolio. What are the prerequisites? Because on all these programs in CampusArt, there is different prerequisites. Some ask to have as well a 3 years degree. Some ask to have a certain level in French. Some has to have a level in English. So depending on the training, justify a baccalaureate level. It's the equivalent of the less little level in French, which calls baccalaureate. 1, 2, or 3 years of higher education in art. So you can see that on the catalog on each programs online. Depending on the training, present your work online, personal website, blog, or portfolio, and justify a medium level in French, except to enter on certain programs such as preparatory classes or program taught in English. There are a few courses taught in English, but often in a private school. In public school, there is not on CampusArt for the moment. There is not there isn't any programs taught in English in a public school and its university. But you can have programs taught in English on CampusArt, but on private school. And some preparatory classes combine French and preparation for entrance exams to art school. So I told you about the electronic file. So it's a classical electronic file. You can just download your student information and academic data, statement of grades by discipline, a personal statement, letter of reference, and a link to online portfolio. And the supporting document certified to the authenticity and translated into French by an accredited translator. So this is really important, but because all the information you're going to download on this online application, you can just match and upload all the documents necessary to justify to what you are telling about your story of student in this application online. What is a portfolio? So I'm sure that there is a lot of you students in art and design. You know what is a portfolio, but it's really free on CampusArt. You can active a URL and on your website on CampusArt. So it can be a website, it can be PDF, it can be a picture on JPEG, on PNG. So it's really free, but we need to look at your personal artistic works. It's really important to upload a portfolio to show your drawings, your models, your photographs, 2D or 3D animation, and describe the materials and intention. This is really important because all the fine art school are going to analyze your work your student application online, but your personal artistic work. It's really important to understand that they need to understand what is your artistic world and what is your goal. Why do you want to enter in a fine art school in France? So for the registration fee, so I told you about public university. The difference with university in France and fine art school, public fine art school in France, in architecture too. So in university, like you can see, there is a difference of fees between a European and a French student and international student. But on the public fine art school, this is a good news. Like you can see, it's really, really, really cheap. And it's not because it's not good, it's because the government, the French government and the Ministry of Culture want to stay on these fees who are really, really cheap. It's really important for you to understand the difference between university and fine art school. And there is also a lot of private school, and the cost can be significantly higher. Yes. What is the calendar? So we are opening on Monday the online application. So I hope you are going to be really happy to applicate online. So the 1st November through end of February. So this is just a calendar for the students, but we are going, of course, maybe to change this calendar for the student. Maybe we are going not to go through February, but through June, maybe. So don't, but it's really important to understand that you have to pay attention to your application online, and on the 1st November, it's really good to begin the online application. So what is the goal of CampusArt? The goal of CampusArt is that you have a facilitate connection with school, and that your file is perfect, and that you are admitted to recognize school. So I hope you are going to be a lot to be connected on the online application. And you can see here my my contact by email, and if you want to write to me and to have some explanation and more information about that, don't hesitate to contact me by with this email. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marie. Thank you for the very clear presentation. I hope everyone has learned about the calendar, the time that you should send your application documents. Now, I will pass the floor to Gui Yu. Then, Marie, I'm going to transfer it in Chinese. Okay. 好，那我们接下来把时间交给巴黎不打烊的主人何桂玉小姐，来跟我们分享一下她在法国读书的经验，还有以及她是怎么样把她的艺术专业延续到现在，成为她工作的重点。那我们欢迎桂玉，谢谢。
Hello，那我这边先跟大家简单的介绍一下，就是我的就是学习的背景。我现在台湾呢，我其实高中的时候念的是华冈艺校，然后主修是灯光设计，副修是灯光执行，所以就是在这个灯光的这个专业领域里面。然后后来我到了大学的时候呢，念的是实践，以前的就是叫做空间设计系，然后现在叫做建筑设计系。然后之后呢，我就来法国念书，之后在台湾工作2年，然后就来法国念书。不过我要说的就是说，其实我这个在台湾工作2年，还有后来到法国念书，其实是我自己在18岁的时候做的一个10年计划，就是我高中毕业的时候做了一个10年的计划，就是决定自己要先在台湾念完大学。然后在台湾工作2年，确定我之后要去哪个国家念书，要念什么专业，然后我再出国。所以后来呢，我在大学的时候，也就是按照我的10年计划，然后在很多国家旅游，想选择一个我之后想要去念书的国家。所以后来我就在英国和法国之间，最后选定了法国，然后就按照我的计划来法国念书。那我那时候刚来法国念书的时候呢，大家有听到吗？就是我本来在台湾念的就是现在的建筑设计系，所以我本来想要念的是 古迹修复这个专业，就是因为我很喜欢那个鹿港的龙山寺，所以我那时候就一心觉得说台湾就是其实有一些像这样子的古迹是需要我们去修复。那我就觉得在法国就是欧洲他们这个专业其实是很强的，所以我当初本来是想要来念古迹修复，然后我就傻傻的就来法国，因为我们那个年代不像现在，我们可以在网络上面找到很多的资料，或者是像刚刚 Marie 介绍的，可以在网络上面就直接申请。那时候那个年代是什么都不晓得，就是背着行李就来了。然后来了之后，我才发现说，在就是建筑系，就因为以前的那个实践，那时候还叫做空间设计系，不叫做建筑设计系。然后我要转换学历的时候，我考上的学校，他要我从2年级开始念。那大家想想看，我们在台湾念建筑系都已经念的熬夜熬得快要死了，好不容易毕业，你还要在场上从2年级开始念吗？那我当然不愿意。所以呢，我那时候就在万念俱灰下，陪着我一个同学，也是台湾的同学，去考了很多的法国的艺术学院。其实我那时候就是因为心情很差，然后想说散心，然后陪着同学一起考。那他考的是艺术学院里面的纯艺术的系，就是艺术创作。那我考的是，我就陪他考的时候，我就考的就是艺术学院里面的设计。因为他们的设计，其实在台湾我后来拿到的那个文凭也是一样，就是台湾的设计系的文凭，其实也是属于在艺术学院里面。所以我后来在法国的时候才知道说，哦，原来设计也是在艺术学院里面。那我现在跟大家分享一下我的照片。这个照片是我后来念的这个 Nancy 的这个艺术学院的照片，我在网络上找到给大家看的。我后来就考上那个法东的这所国立的艺术学院。然后这所学校呢，它其实法国有几所就是国立的艺术学院，它其实是由法国文化部直接从巴黎的法国文化部，就是从中央这样直接管理的。那这些国立的艺术学院，他们设置选择的城市都是在一些比较有历史文化背景的地方。比如说我现在念的这所 Nancy 的法东的这一所国立艺术学院，它这所学校这个地方还有这所学校以前出了很多法国新艺术史上面的重要的艺术家。然后在这个 Nancy 这个地方还有一个它还是一个那个水晶工艺的重镇，有一个非常有名的法国水晶品牌叫 Dome， 就是来自这个地方。所以我们就说，比如说 Nancy 这个地方就有一个国立的艺术学院，然后在 Limoges 这个地方，因为它有陶瓷，它是一个陶瓷的艺术重镇，所以它也有一个国立艺术学院。所以我那时候来这个地方的时候，就一定要学很多关于水晶工艺相关的历史，然后还有工艺什么的，这就是基本的一个教学的内容。那在这个法国那时候我在这个学校念书的时候，还有一个很大的冲击，就是我们这些艺术系的学生，其实我在台湾算是有一些学分已经抵掉了嘛，但是有一个学分我没有抵掉的，就是哲学的学分。所以我那时候就要跟他们3年级的学生一起上哲学课。哲学课其实非常不容易，而且那时候我们上的是那个梅洛庞蒂的那个线上学。然后其实有些同学可能会担心说语言的关系，其实我那时候刚来法国念书的时候，语言非常非常的不好，因为我自己不是念法文系的。然后我说真的，比一般的留学生还要晚到法国。一般的留学生大家都会在9月份、10月份开学的时候进入语言学校念书，但是因为那时候我家里面有点事情，我父亲过世了，所以我处理完他的后事之后，我隔了大概6个月，隔年的1月底才到法国念语言学校。然后念语言学校同时又顺便就是不是顺便，就念语言学校的同时又一起就是投这些学院、高等学院、建筑学院被打枪的或者是艺术学院这些。所以其实我的法文的底子是非常不好的，也就是说我只有正式上法文课大概就是4、5个月的时间。但是呢，以艺术学院来说，在我那个年代，其实我相信现在应该也是，法国艺术学院非常看你的作品，就是如果你的作品 OK 的话，其实你就没有什么问题。我记得我当初去考 Nancy 这个学校的时候，他们的考试其实也不是所谓考试的，就是让你回答一些问题，然后他其中有问题就是说你最喜欢艺术家是谁。可是我以前念的在台湾念就是 就是比较偏建筑类的，所以我就回答说我最喜欢的是建筑师是谁。然后那时候我还记得我的法文不好，所以我就用英文回答。但是呢，还是考上了这所学校。那在这个学校里面，除了就是对，所以后来上哲学课的时候，其实蛮辛苦的，因为哲学课可能不是说你一定要，就说你不是说你法文会懂，就说你法文很好，你也不见得会懂，只是这个是重点。但是我觉得，我那时候还是很努力，就是想尽办法去理解，就是这个哲学课的内容，然后后来考试还拿了，就是交那个报告还拿了一个全班第一。其实我觉得在法国的艺术学院里面是很给我们这些外国学生机会的，也就是说你不一定真的说你的法文会跟法国学生一样好，但是如果你的思维或者对艺术创作一些想法，它是不错的，在学校还是会有很好的发展。所以我一直都非常感谢，就是在法国念书的这段时间，给我很多的机会。这就是我们在学校上课的情况。在学校上课情况也是一样，就是我们不会有老师不会跟你讲说你要做什么，大部分都是你自己决定你要做什么，你跟老师讨论。然后你们可以看到那张照片，最后面就是一个老师，然后学生在跟他讨论，都是学生自己做自己的事，创作自己的事情。然后我在这边学到一件就是在Nancy 这时候刚来法国的时候学到一件很重要的事情，就是老师不是告诉我们要做什么，老师只是指点我们或者引导我们一个方向，大部分的时候都要靠自己去完成。所以学校有非常非常多的资源你可以去使用，比如说像我在这个 Nancy 的学校，其实学校蛮小的，但是有很多Nancy 这个城市的资源，比如说图书馆啊，就是学校自己有图书馆之外，这个城市还有城市的图书馆。然后图书馆里面我就可以借到很多的，不管是录影带啊，或是书什么都可以看，就是增加自己文化的部分。然后我在Nancy念完书之后，大概2年吧，很快我就拿到我的学位。那时候我就想说，我是不是应该要回台湾了？但是因为其实还蛮累的，就是做完就是我们要过那时候要考一个 diploma 的考试，所以我们这种是专业的学校的时候，你要做个 diploma 的考试，就是你除了要写一个很简单的论文之外，你还要完成的作品。所以我那时候真的还蛮累的，想说，我在想说，是不是应该要回台湾工作啊，或是怎么样？那同时呢，就发现说，我其他的同学他们都在申请巴黎的高等艺术学院，我就想说，那我是不是也要来试试看？因为其实那时候我做的设计的方向比较是多媒体互动的东西，不过那是10几年前的事情。那时候在法国的艺术学院还不是有很多学生来做，所以我们那时候我们的艺术学院有3个系，一个是就是纯艺术，一个是 design 设计，还有一个就是 communication， 就是台湾应该叫做视觉传达。那这3个系分别有1个学生做多媒体互动的东西。那我们设计系就是我，然后另外2个系2个女生。那另外2个女生还有他们的朋友都在申请，就是巴黎的这个高等装饰艺术学院的硕士后的一个实验室的研究。那我想说，大家都在申请，我是不是要申请一下？然后我就好吧，我就投了一下我的那个作品集跟学校的简历这样子，然后就跟着去考了。然后后来我就这张照片很小，不好意思。后来我就考上了，就是巴黎的这个高等装饰艺术学院的Untitled Chapter， 就是它的一个硕士后研究的多媒体实验室。那个时候10几年前在不管是在台湾也是一样，或是在全球吧，那时候的多媒体这一块其实还蛮少人的，但是 Untitled 算是蛮早有这个硕士后研究的，所以我就进去了这个巴黎的这个学校。那这是我们学校的这个中庭，就是大家中午吃三明治跟抽烟的地方。然后这个学校它有非常非常多的资源。我那时候进来这个学校的时候才知道说，哇，你到了巴黎的学校跟在外省学校的差别。然后巴黎这个学校的资源之多，就是其实因为我们那个年代的学费其实不是很根本没有学费啊，就是缴一个注册费吧。我记得我那时候缴了300多 但是法国政府每年拨给这个学校的每一个学生都有7-8千欧的预算，就算我们不去学校，那个钱也会到学校来。所以我们做任何创作，就是所有需要的材料什么，我们都不用自己付钱，都是学校他们会签合，如果你的作品 OK 了，然后老师签订 OK 了，学校就会负责采买这些材料。然后学校里面有很多的不同的工坊，然后每个工坊都有配属专业的技工。所以很多东西就是在法国学校里面，其实学生是不用自己动手，因为他们也会担心说学生操作大型的机台会有危险或什么，比如说木工坊啊、金工坊什么的，所以都会每一个工坊都会有专业的技工在帮大，也不见得说帮大家服务吧，他会教你怎么用，或者太困难的他们会帮你做。然后这个学校里面不是只有我们这个系，它有很多，比如说还有它有空间设计系、服装设计系、织品设计系。那每一个系所里面的设备都非常非常的完善，真的是非常完善。我朋友从那个安特卫普的那个皇家服装设计学院来参观，都想要转到我们学校来，因为实在是就是设备非常完善。然后还有比如说你念织品的话，或念服装设计系的话，还有一个织品的图书馆或服装图书馆，里面有一个专业的人在帮大家解惑。然后这就是我们学校的图书馆。那学校的图书馆也是是我常常跑的地方，因为它里面会有最新的相关设计类相关类的期刊，然后还有所有的艺术设计相关的书籍。就是说在这个学校里面，它是一个很大的宝藏。它除了有这些硬体的设备之外，还有很多软体的设备。就是说，所有的老师、学生之间的关系，其实它就是大家都是互相牵连的。然后这是我们学校，这学校里面是菲利普斯塔克设计的。其实它的设计概念，学校里面都是红红的这样子，其实蛮阴暗的。就是它有个概念，就觉得我们都在一个潜艇里面，然后大家都在潜艇里面工作。然后这就是我念书的过程，大概就是这样子。那因为我在这个实验室大概也做了3年的研究，那在这个实验室里面的研究也就产生了一个就是和同事之间的一个合作的默契。后来呢，我们就几个人就是在巴黎成立了一个公司，我和我另外一半成立了公司，然后和同时在这个实验室里面的其他同事，我们大家就一起工作。那我们一起工作，我给大家看一下，简单的就是比如说像这是我们有在台湾也有做过一些展览，然后就是以前学校的同事，他也有常常在台湾的大学做一些 workshop， 就是多媒体的部分。那像这个就是我们在2016年在台北当代做的一个展览。然后这是我们在上个月在巴黎的人类学博物馆刚开展的一个展览里面做的一个互动装置，就是这个展览就在讨论人类的边界这件事情。然后其实我们的工作就是有一部分是跟博物馆，一部分是跟欧洲这边的品牌，不见得是法国，就欧洲的品牌做一些多媒体互动的一些展示。那这个其实就是我从在 Nancy 那边开始，然后就是在法东的学校开始就做的一件事情，然后再到巴黎，再到现在大概10几年都在同样这个领域上面。那这个展览它其实就是在讲人类的边界，所以我们在这其中一个部分就是要做一个 perfect baby， 就是在讲我们人类怎么样试着改造基因，然后做出更好的下一代。那其实也是在测试一个人类的边界这件事情。所以这个作品它是可以选择，就是说你可以选择你想要的婴儿的，比如说眼睛的颜色啊、皮肤的颜色啊，然后是男还是女这样。就像这样子类似一个实验室。然后同时我们在巴黎现在还有展的是一个在科学城的跟机器人相关的展览。这个大家也可以就是因为它现在还有，就如果是在巴黎的人是可以看到，就这一个展览和这个人类学博物馆的展览。那这比较是属于跟博物馆类合作的案子。那这个是我们2016年在台湾跟董阳孜老师合作的一个展览。这个展览其实我们那时候 是董昂姿老师的作品，然后他想用不同形式的方式呈现，所以我们就想说用一个也是会转的一个机械的一个绳轴马达，然后让董昂姿老师的作品可以有不同的观看的方式。然后这个是今年初我们帮艾迪达做的一个案子，这是艾迪达在巴黎香榭丽榭的旗舰店，然后他们那时候推出了新款鞋子，然后要展现他们这个鞋子，这也是我们会做的，就是比较商业类型案子。其实我们商业类型的案子有，比如说会做像迪奥啊，他们出了新的彩妆或什么的，就是它很多现在都用到多媒体的方式来表达，所以这些品牌的工作，其实在巴黎是非常多。然后我们就做艾迪达的鞋子，它的就是上面有一根工业用的，我不知道中文怎么讲，就是类似像算，反正就是一个工业用的器材，然后把它呈现在就是商品上面。然后在巴黎这两个案子，就是我们今年比较就是公开对外的一个展览的案子。那所以我大概平常工作大概就是这个样子，就是在做像类似这样子。那我最后要跟大家讲说，就是来法国念书，或者是说在念艺术学院，大家还可以就是有什么样的好处？不是说好处，是说对我们有什么好？就是说你可能会觉得说念艺术或是念设计其实是一个很辛苦，或者说很找不到工作的行业。但是我觉得不是这样子，就是说在法国。基本上我过得很开心，因为我觉得法国是一个很给我机会的地方。因为以前我在台湾念书的时候，就是那种老师心目中很叛逆的学生，就是我常做一些东西，老师们都觉得就是离经叛道或什么。但是我只能说，像我这样子的个性，在法国是完全找到我的地方。就是我非常感谢法国，就是我自从念了法国艺术学院之后，法国的老师们都非常就是他们很喜欢像我这种。有一些奇怪想法的学生，所以我觉得，如果你在台湾，你觉得你可能没有人了解你，或者是没有人可以支持你的想法、支持你的创意，我觉得你可以来法国，因为我觉得在法国可以找到很多就是支持我这样子一些奇奇怪怪想法的地方。但是呢，接下来我就要跟大家讲说，在法国呢，的确是这样子没错，但是还有最后一件事情我要跟大家分享，就是其实也没有那么容易哦。就是说，你如果要维持在这样子的情况下，你要怎么样让自己一直维持在 top 的情况？就是你之后人生可能要面对，就是比如说我常常在巴黎不打烊上面跟大家分享，我去看展览，看巴黎有很多发生很多有趣的事情，比如说去看展览。为什么我要看那么多的展览？其实就是不停的吸收自己，吸收一些文化，吸收一些刺激，然后不停的去看这些不同的东西，然后让自己一直维持在一个最 top 的状态。因为巴黎这边真的有非常多很优秀、很厉害的人，所以就是要不停的让自己一直进步，一直维持在最好的状态，你才有可能就是在这个文化之都，真的很多很强的人的地方留下来。这样，那我的分享就到这边，我现在必须要关掉这个，好啦。
好哦，谢谢桂玉非常精彩而且充实的分享。So thank you for Gui Yu and for Marie. Now we will be starting our QA session. There are some questions from the students. So the first one is to Marie. It's regarding the application. So do the students need to fill in the application list of schools while applying on the CampusArt platform? If yes, what would be the maximum numbers of schools that they can choose to fill in on their list?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So it's not with schools, but with programs. So the students can choose 7 programs and 7 programs only, but all the school on the application can give maybe, it's an eventually, can give an admission for the student. So the student can have 20 or 30 and proposal admission maybe. So it's really important to understand it's an opening application. 7 choices, sorry, but all the school can can give a proposal admission to the students.
Okay, that means all the schools which provides the programs that the student is applying, they can review the document the student submitting, and they can decide if they want to accept the student.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. So wow, that opens a lot more chances to the student.
Yes.
So the second question is, if a student didn't study art relevant fields during university studies, can they still apply for a master program in arts?
No, it can be really difficult, but some schools are really opening with this difference. The fine art school in France really loves atypic students. So you can, and Kwe can just tell you about that. But it's really important because, but it's not only in France. I think all the fine art school around the world really loves atypical profiles and students. So you can have been a chemistry student and you can enter in a fine art school maybe. But some programs on CampusArt just detail all the prerequisites. So you can see on CampusArt website, but it's the same thing on the website on the fine art school. On the website, they can say, okay, this is open. It's open for the student who can come from mathematics programs. And no, it's not possible to have a bachelor degree in math if you want to enter in a fine art school. All the programs detail this.
Okay, so maybe Gui, you want to elaborate a little bit on this topic?
For atypical students.
Yeah. you can do in Chinese.
OK， 我觉得法国有一个真的是非常非常适合我们这些怪咖学生。你不能说怪咖学生，说你有想法，然后你想创新。其实我当初要做互动多媒体的装置的毕业制作的时候，是挑战了我们全校20几个老师。因为那个年代还没有，就是那个年代在我那个年代在德国只有ZKM， 或者在美国只有 MIT 才有这个互动装置这种东西。那我那时候其实在法国那时候还是很保守的，就是对这个领域还是很保守的时候，我直接挑战了20几个老师。可是呢，你看我最后还是很简单的，就说我还是生存过来，对不对？所以我觉得这个法国艺术学就是非常适合我们这些想要做一些很不一样的东西的学生。
好，所以重点其实是在你要有你的想法，而不是在于你原本是不是念艺术的，是你在艺术领域里面你的想法、你的新点子能不能够吸引到老师的目光？我觉得这应该是。
等一下，OK。还有一件事情就是说，我们不能这样子讲，因为这样讲的话可能会讲说，哦，我是标新立异，我就可能会考上。No， 他们还是会站在一个基础上面，说你必须要有文化的底子，而不是说突然间我来一个标新立异什么东西，所以他是很能够接受的东西，但是你要怎么去说服他？
就背后要有一个很实在、很有基础的论述在里头。
没错。
好 ，So the next question is to Marie. Is there any age limitations for application on the CampusArt network?
Yes, a good question too. Some courses detail the age limit, but often there is no age limit to apply. So this is this is for information. You can see this information of limit age on the programs, each programs, but no, it depends on the programs, but it's clearly indicated in the CampusArt catalog.
Okay, so also there are students that they wonder the details or suggestions on how to conducting their collections of artwork. I think this question is maybe more to Guiyu to prepare, to give the students some suggestions on preparing their documents.
我觉得台湾的学生我真的不担心。
嗯，
我真的，因为我觉得台湾的学生都非常的有创意，就是大家很知道怎么样表达自己。我这边跟大家分享一个经验，就是我后来念到在当时念到5年级要毕业的时候，因为我跟我们的系主任非常的好，所以他那时候就跟我说，哎，你有没有你看那一堆来申请的那个作品集，有没有你认识的？他就说我看了半天都不觉得不怎么样，如果你认识的话，我考不好可以让他进来。然后我就翻了一翻，我就发现，都是一些对岸的学生。那他们的学生其实他们的作品集都非常的制式化，也就是他们都会前面都是素描，然后接下来就是水彩，然后就最后到3D，然后再
标准就对了。
对，非常标准。那这件事情我相信在台湾学生身上是不会有的。那这种情况就是后来我们在艺术学院都遇到很多这样的情况，就是说你看他们要收的学生就是你知道你就是有特色的。不是因为不会有学校想要收都是一样的学生嘛，都会想要选比较有天分，就是不一样的，然后有自己想法的学生，就是这样。在法国艺术学院就是可以表现自己的想法。
好，所以重点其实还是回到我们刚刚说的，就是把你认为有创意的作品放在作品集里面，但是记得要放上你的论述。好，这应该就是我们建议作品集的制作方式。好， the next question is about application. If the uploaded documents are already in English version, do they need to translate into French?
No, in English it's okay. So you can see I've got a really horrible level in English, but it's
not at all.
So now the young generation in France, because I'm quite old too, so on the school it's okay for application in English and documents in English. It's really okay. So if it's in Chinese, we are not able in France to understand the file, the student file. I'm really sorry about that. Yes, because we need to learn more and more different languages, but in English, it's really okay.
Okay, so either in English and in French are acceptable.
Yeah,
okay.
Even in Spanish, but
okay.
Even in Spanish, but no, I don't think there is Spanish, but we accept 3 languages, sorry, French, English, and Spanish.
And Spanish.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So can they fill in the application information in English on the network?
Yes, the online application is opening to English uploading information for students. The online catalog, sorry about that, is not in English for the French programs, for the programs taught in French. But the back office and the front office is not in English. We are going to work with that. I'm sorry again about this, but the programs taught in English are yes, or showed in English. Yeah, I don't know how. It's a difficulty for us now because there is a law in France who just put the point on programs taught in French, but it's going to be more and more in English. Yeah.
Okay, so you're adapting the website.
Yeah.
Okay, great. How do the students send different motivation letters to different schools on the CampusArt network?
They can upload each different letters on the application, on their file. They can upload 7 letters if they choose 7 programs if they want.
Okay, so it's by program.
Yes.
Okay. So do they, is it necessary to have a recommendation letter? If yes, is there any format limitations? Can it be English version or it should be presented in French?
Alors, yes, it's mandatory to have 1 or 2 recommendation letters, recommendation for holder, maybe employer, for teachers, if you are a student in a if you are still a student now. And it can be in French, it can be in English, not Chinese, please, because we are not able to translate, sorry again. But in English or French, it's okay. And what is the other question? So it can be in English?
Yeah, it can be English and French. Is there any format limitation?
Oh, no, it's not. It can be free. It can be a letter, and we propose a format on the CampusArt website. But
okay, so the
it's
students
not
can
mandatory.
also,
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
it's mandatory to have one or two recommendation letters, but the format is not mandatory.
Yes.
Okay. So in case if there is a student, he or she apply for 5 different schools, do they need to go through 5 different interviews, or there will be only one? And what type of the questions may be realistic during the interviews? How do the students prepare for the interview? So I think the first part is for Marie, and the second part is more for Gui.
Yes, for it can be because it's not. It's a possibility that fine art school wants to have, like we call an entretien, like an evaluation in front of the student, like in a visio or maybe by phone. Yes, it can happen, but it's not mandatory with all the schools for the preparation. So it's the beauty of the fine art school. Everything is totally not on control, because it can be, again, they like atypical students, so they like to ask about everything. Association life of the students, if they are doing music, if they go to see some exhibition on the museum. So it can be on the general culture of art and design. It can be on the motivation. Why do you want to go through a fine art school, and why in France? Why France? So it can be about the coming in France. It can be about why fine art school France. It can be on the artistic work. It can be about everything. But maybe Kwe can Kwe
这个问题，哎，我想当初我还真是考了不少学校呢，真是一个好问题。因为我当初陪那个台湾的女同学考试，她报了很多学校，就是法国很多地方，我就跟她去玩，去考很多学校。然后呢，我觉得我回答这个问题绝对可以帮助各位想要考的同学们，因为我全部都考上了。那我怎么考上的呢？我跟大家讲，就是我陪这位女同学去考了很多法国的各地的艺术学院，然后我全部都考上了。原因就是我非常的诚实。我个人总是觉得，就是 honesty is the best policy。就是很多的问题，老师问你说你为什么来考我这个学校？你会认识这个学校？你那时候刚来法国，你会知道这个地方有什么不同吗？你当然不知道，你当时考了学校，考进去念书的时候，你才会知道嘛。所以我绝对不会回答说，哎，我是因为向往已久各位学校的美名啊，或什么，我根本不会讲这种话，因为我觉得这根本就是屁话。你讲这种话，我就知道你在撒谎，因为你不会真的那么了解那个学校到底怎么样。所以我每一个学校都非常非常诚实的回答。比如说我考上那个 Nancy 的时候，老师会问说，你为什么选学校？你的作品集你可以去巴黎的学校，你为什么要来这个法东一个没有人的学校？我就很诚实的回答他们说，我选择来考你们学校的原因，就是因为当初我发现你们学校的报考名单的问题，就是每个学校那时候每个学校都有不同的就是报考的资料。我说，因为我发现你们学校的这些要回答问题最机车，所以我想你们学校会有那么多机车的问题，应该学校老师也都是非常的严格和挑剔。那刚好符合我的个性，因为他们那时候只有这所学校，他们会问学生说，你平常念什么书？你最喜欢作家是谁？你最喜欢的电影是谁？你最喜欢的什么什么？他要知道你的那个文化背景。然后我就很诚实的回答他们。那我还有回答过最瞎的，就是在那个 ARF 的那个艺术学院，就是北方海港的一个学校。那当然也不是我选择去考那个学校，是我同学选的，我那个朋友选的。 那我就去陪考。那人家当中说，你为什么要来选择我们这个 UF 这个小地方的学校？那还是觉得莫名其妙。那我不能每个学校都有问我这个问题，因为他们会觉得说，你的作品其实很精彩，你为什么不想去巴黎？可是因为那时候不是我选的，所以我都会很诚实。比如说 UF 那学校，我就回答最下的问题，就跟他们说，我觉得如果考上那学校也不错，因为在海边有港口，来自台湾，然后可以看到海，所以我觉得回答问题就是诚实为上策，不懂的不要回答，太过于阿谀奉承的也不用回答。
非常清楚并且实际的说明，感谢桂玉。好 ，So here comes the last question since we're about to close up this session. The question is regarding the language ability and the language level. Actually, in Taiwan, the DELF exam only held in November and May. If there is the student, he or she is planning to obtain B1 in November and B2 next May. That means if the student wants to do the application and get into the school, he or she won't have the B2 already. So is that mandatory to have B2 or B1 level is still fine?
Oh, it's really fine to have B1 level when you begin the online application, because you can apply and add after your level in French when you have obtained it. So I understand that there is November session and May session, so you can totally apply with the B1 level. And after the months and going through May, you can add your B2 level if you have the chance to have this level, and it's totally okay with that.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for Marie and thank you for Gui. I think this is it for this session, and this is also the last webinar in the Campus Friends Choose Campus Series. 好，那我们今天就到这边，谢谢大家。那要提醒一下，法国教育中心呢有举办这一次系列讲座的自拍画面分享心得的小活动。那要请大家现在可以花1分钟的时间，稍微跟今天的这一个活动的画面来自拍一下，然后记得哦，分享在脸书上面，写一下你的心得，然后把截图寄给我，就可以拿到精美的小礼物。那今天的讲座呢，也是本系列的最后一场。希望大家都有收获，也祝福各位在申请学校的路上一切顺利，留学愉快。谢谢大家 ，Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.